the benefit of this distance to all of us.
Thank you. We'll chant Om. Sahanavoto. Guru Brahma Shuklam Vardhanam, and we invoke the grace of Adi Shankaracharya and then start. तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ गुरुब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। ॐ शुक्लाम्बरधरं विष्णुं शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये। ॐ सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। We chant the lead and follow the invocation mantra of this text, Vasudevendra Yogindram. It is on the top. Lead and follow. Vasudevendra Yogindram Natva Jnanapradam Gurum Mumukshunam Hitarthaya Tattvabodho Vidhiyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. We are entering into the third talk of on Tattvabodha. We had briefly discussed the essence of this last time, but few minutes of getting back. This is a Kruti of Adi Shankaracharya, and this text is prescribed so that we understand our Vedas and Upanishads better. It is almost an elementary text, but no time is too late to go into this text later. Don't say he said the elementary text, then I should have seen before. Now I have read all the Gitas and I have gone through Upanishads and all by this. Again, when you go through this Gita, you will understand it little more better. Otherwise also, understanding the meaning of this text itself will lift us to great heights of realization. The few things that we discussed the last class is, this is the introductory discourse, Vasudevendra Yoginam, Natva Jnana Pradam Garam, Mumukshanam Hitataya, Tattva Bodhovi Jayate. Here Acharya is surrendering to his Guru and he is giving this discourse. In the first it was said, Sadhana Chatushtaya Sampanna Adhikarinam Moksha Sadhananga Bhutam Tattva Viveka Prakaram Mokshami. It was said, Acharya says, I am going to give thee this Sattva-bodha. What is the purpose? The ultimate purpose is that I must get the ultimate goal of my life, the moksha, the liberation, free from bondage. That's what I must get. And then, what is he? You see, there everything is given. He is indicating what is the purpose because of which this is being given. It is for moksha sadhana, for us to attain moksha. I think that should be encouraging. Why should we go to this sattva? Then otherwise, why should I study? There must be a purpose. This he says, this will help you to attain moksha, the liberation, free from bondage. And this bondage is not something has come from anywhere. I myself have put myself into that bondage and I am going to liberate myself from the bondage that I myself have put in. I will attain moksha, the liberation. And this liberation cannot be after death because there is no possibility. The moksha is not possible after death. What all has to happen, it has to happen Jivan Muktihi. You must attain this. And this moksha you can't get just because on Vaikuntha Ekadasi day you go under that. If that were easy, all the great criminals and criminals in our parliament and assemblies, they would have easily got it. It is not easy. It is a symbolic. We have to follow this. But when you go through this and understand and practice, Acharya assures that you will get the moksha sadhana. And what does he get? What does he give? Tattva Viveka. Actually the text Tattva Bodha is knowledge. Knowledge of what? Tattva. Knowledge of self. He is going to see, this is exciting. This is all Vedas together you will find here. And if you understand this properly and practice, I think we need not do anything else. No sadhana, nothing is necessary. But he says, this will be given not to all. See, in any field, even in normal academic education, also, they can't give education unless you are qualified. Suppose you have to get into a master's degree course, you must have done the basic degree course and perhaps with reasonable marks. Otherwise you won't get. Of course by hook or crook you may get. But still a qualification is necessary for the outer world. And of course the person who gives also should be an adhikari. And here he says the qualification that is necessary was indicated as sadhana chatushtayam that we had discussed in the last two talks. Fourfold spiritual practices. I must be a qualified, I must be an adhikari, and he calls it sampanna adhikaranam. It is wealth. This wealth is far superior than all the materialistic wealth. You might have a huge bungalow, the best of the cars and all the facilities of the world. That sampad will not make me get qualified for this. This requires a special qualification and all of us are qualified. We have attained sadhana chatushtaya. And I would not go into all this. Number one, briefly we had said that we must have viveka. We had discussed what is viveka last time. We must also have vairagya. And most importantly, we must have Shama Adi Shatka Sampattihi that we had seen also. And most importantly, Mumukshutvam. Mumukshutvam is not like, okay, I feel like getting self-knowledge, it doesn't work. Or I want to get, no, it should be a serious burning desire It is almost like my breath. It is like that you are taken into a river, you are here up to the neck, and suppose somebody pushes you into the river, and you are almost about to die. The person is pushing you in and in, and you are about to die. Suppose you are released. Now, what would be the feeling before coming up? Because you would like to quickly come out. And the desire is so intense, and that desire we must have to attain the self-knowledge. So we are going to, we had discussed what are those. I would not like to go through all that. Now I had also requested that the books were given, some of you had taken notes, and we all made a promise that you have not heard here in the two talks, but you had given me a promise that you would get qualified and you become adhikari for you to attend this talk number 3. I hope you are not, because this is necessary. And in various Upanishads you would have seen, when the Shishyas go to the Guru, they won't give. Some people ask Shishyas to wait for 6 months, 1 year, so many years. Why? Because particularly these spiritual inputs, if it is given to an unqualified person, number one, it may not have the desired effect, but more dangerously, it might have negative impact. So we assume that you have attained all these qualifications, sadhana chatushtaya, and vairagya should be born out of viveka only. It should not be either abhava vairagya or smashana vairagya or temporary vairagya. Not forcing yourself away, but out of the viveka, out of the discrimination, you have developed viveka and the shama damadi shatka sampatti, and you have become qualified. And now that we are qualified, we will go into the second portion of this Tattva Bodha. I have given this thing. There are, I have gone through a number of texts, number of commentaries by various, including the original commentaries, and brought forward by various missions and in internet and all that. But there has been differences in the wording. All of you have this, no? Anybody not having this, no? Okay, then I got, I think, 2-3 more. Okay, I'll do. One next. As I read, we'll see the first one. Etat, the first one you need not drag it up. Etat sadhana chatushtaya sampannam tattva vivekasya adhikarino bhavanti. It is there with you. That means we all of us have developed adhikara, the right to get the input into this Tattva Bodha, the self-knowledge. This whole Tattva Bodha is in the form of the question and answers. Most of these terminologies is already known to us, and perhaps most of us know the meaning also, but still there is nothing wrong in Vedanta repetition, and this knowledge that we have will further get consolidated. Read and follow. Tattva vivekah kaha atma satyam tadanyat sarvam itya iti jnanameva. We will read it together. Tattva vivekah, together. Tattva vivekah kaha atma satyam tadanyat sarvam mitya iti jnanameva. In some books jnanameva is there, in some books it is not there, it doesn't matter. What does it mean? Here is a question the disciple is asking. Tattva vivekaha ka. What is this inquiry into the self-knowledge or the truth is the question. And the answer given by the Guru is Atma Satyam. That means what? This self alone is real. Tat anyat sarvam mithya iti. Other than that, everything else is mithya. here you will see in this Tattvabodha that first he goes on explaining, and what is given will be explained later, but still we will understand here some technical words are used. We will see those technical words, all of you are aware. One he has used is Atma, other technical word is Satyam and Nityam. These are known to us. He says this ability to discrimination or between the Satya and Nitya has got to be done. What we have to understand, basically let us understand this Atma is something you can call it as, in this context, as a three eyes. Three eyes, it is immortal, and then it is the inner essence, and one which does not change or imperishable. That is the three eyes, and that is called to be truth and truth only. Now he is trying to explain what is Satyam. There is what is called as two important things that are here is, there is what is called as dependent existence and the independent existence. I am trying to understand it little like this. Existence is there. What is dependent existence and the independent existence? Dependent existence is one which requires something else for it to exist. Independent existence is something. But here, Atman is the independent existence. It does not require. It doesn't require any other support. Let us, I think, try to understand it with a few examples that we are all familiar. Here I got the furniture. This is the table. Table is Namarupa. And suppose you go a little deeper, we understand, if you remove the Nama, then we understand it as wood. Between the two, the wood is the independent existence, but that again is dependent, we'll see it later. But table is dependent. And in Vedanta, other examples are given. For example, the various, you have got the ring, the chain, the bangle and all that. They are called dependent existence. But there is what is called as independent existence. Gold, all this is made out of the, provided you are not cheated, it is, let's assume that it is gold. Between the two, this ring, chain, bangle, other ornaments cannot exist without gold if this is to be called a golden. That means ring, chain and other ornaments, they are the dependent existence, whereas gold is independent existence. Similarly, the waves and the ocean. Ocean is an independent existence, but waves is dependent. The existence of waves depends on the existence of the ocean. Waves cannot exist without the sea or the ocean being there. And like the cloth. Cloth is dependent existence, whereas the cotton is independent. Without cotton, without depending on the cotton, this cloth cannot exist, but cloth can. So if you have understood, then this is what he means by Satyam. What is it? Atma Satyam tad anyat sarvam mithya iti. So we must understand, one that is true is only Atman. Atman we have to take it as, what is that? Independent existence, that without which nothing can exist. All the other names and forms that we are seeing, not only the examples I have given, all the names and forms, things that we are seeing in this world, they are dependent on that, and that is called Satyam. I think we are clear. The question was Sattva Vivekaha kaha. It says Atma Satyam Tad Anyat Sarvam Mityam. Mityam is something which is dependent on. In reality, minus the Satyam, it is not existent. The full description is given later on. So this is the initial, we'll go, as we go through we will understand it. Now the thing we have understood is Atman is real, that alone is Satyam. The other things appears to be real to me, but in reality it is not there, and there is a superimposition.
In one way,
In one way.
Atma
Atma.
is independent.
Atma is independent.
He is not independent.
Ah.
Because as per Advaita, we have come from Paramatma. Paramatma is independent and Atma is dependent.
But here Atma means supreme consciousness only. It is not the limited Jivatma we are talking here. Atma Satyam is that way. We can't use the word Satyam for this conditioned consciousness. No, no, no. It is an unconditioned consciousness, what you call it as Parabrahma, the supreme reality, the conscious principle, which Chinmayananda indicates by the word Om, that alone is Satyam, and everything else is Mityam. Means the BMI, the PFT, the OID, the body, the mind and the intellect, and I, the limited ego, the perceiver, the feeler and the thinker, and the whole entire world of the objects, emotions and thoughts, they are Mityam, because they cannot exist without that. So here Atma here means it is supreme Parabrahman. Alright, we'll take the next one. Atma kaha Sthula Sukshma Karana Sharirat Vyatiriktaha. Slightly difference for a position is there. Next you read it. Panchakoshatitaha Avastatraya Sakshi Satchidananda Swarupa San Yah Tishtati Sa Atma. So two things I have added. I have slightly shifted because there are different, different prints. So the question, we'll read it together. Atma kaha. Together. Sthula Sukshma Karana Sharirat Vyatiriktaha Panchakoshati Avastatraya Sakshi Satchidananda Swarupa San Ya Tishtati Sa Atma. The disciple has asked this question, Atma kaha. Atma kaha. I think we understand. What is self? Easily understood. Now here he indicates, actually the question should have been, in the previous thing, he had said, Mithya. Mithya is nothing but Anatma. Atma Satyam, Anatma. The question should have been, Atma kaha, Anatma kaha. But that question is assumed, and the other tries to explain Anatma, and then says, that which is not Anatma is Atma. Did we get this? Now here, Atma kaha was the question, and here he is giving a list of, we are not going to the full details because these will be explained in the subsequent verses. Now we will see what it says, Sthula Sukshma Karana Sharirat Vyatiriktaha, means what? That which is other than the three bodies, the gross, the subtle and the causal bodies. Sthula, Sukshma, Karana, Sharirat, Vyatiriktaha, number one. And then next we had said Panchakoshat Atitaha San. You have to add San. Means that which is beyond the 5 sheaths that we are aware. That which is beyond the 5 koshas. And then Avastatraya Sakshihi. We have the 3 states of consciousness. One Avastha Traya. Traya 3, Avasthas 3, waking, dream and deep sleep are the 3 states of consciousness. Now Avastha Traya Sakshihi is one which is the witness of the 3 states of consciousness, the waking, the dream and the deep sleep. Now, what he has indicated? He has indicated a list of anatmas. How many are there now? 3 bodies, Sthula, Sukshma, Karana. And then he has given Panchakosha, Atitaha, 5. Panchakosha, Annamaya Kosha, Pranamaya Kosha, Manomaya Kosha, Vijnanamaya Kosha, Anandamaya Kosha. These are the 5 sheaths, 3 bodies, 5 sheaths, and our 3 avasthas, the 3 states of consciousness, waking, dream and deep sleep. And these are anatma, are the mithya. You will see the previous one. Now he says, after indicating this, he says, Atman is that which is other than this. So it is something like showing you something, not this, naiti concept. And then one indication further is given. What is that? Satchidananda Swarupaha San. That means San is, that is not there, we have to add that there in that text. Satchidananda Swarupaha San means that which is of the nature of Sat, the existence, Chit, consciousness, and Ananda, the bliss. So a brief definition of the self is given. What is not is given. 3 plus 5 plus 3. This is not that. He says, what are the 3? Sthula. It is not, we call it as Shariratrayaha. Shariratrayaha are the 3 bodies, the gross, the subtle and the causal bodies are the Shariratrayaha. And then Pancha Koshaha, 5 sheaths, Annamaya, Pranamaya, Manomaya, Vijnanamaya, Anandamaya Kosha. These are the Pancha Koshas. And then these are the 5 sheaths. And then the 3 states of consciousness, Avasthatri, are indicated. He says this is not in any one of these, that which is none of this, but witness of the 3 states, waking, dream and the deep sleep consciousness. So the Acharya is trying to make us first, because he has to take us from what we know, what we see, and from there he has to lead us to what we have to understand. So a method has been given by indicating what is, it is clarified. In fact, later you will see, he will, we have got how many? 8 are there. And he will add also some more pranas are added and manas and buddhi is added. That we will see later. He has given the basic things that it is not that. So what we have to see is, now we have to see, we are aware of these anatmas. The question that we have been asking to our Guru is, Guru, please tell me what is Atma. This is the question, and he has indicated that this is this is not, this is one which is different from the 3 bodies, one which is beyond the 5 sheaths, and one which is the witness. These are all anatma, it is none of these are indicated. So the next question will come, we have to go through what is all this. Next we will go to the first question, because what he had said, Shariratrayam was indicated. So he will try to take us to the Shariratrayam. And it is really, you might say, no, I already know I am this Sharira, but still it is good that we know, we might be seeing experiencing through this, but still we will understand it little more better. Stula Sharir, now we'll read and follow. Stula Shariram Kim Panchikruta Mahabhutai Krutam Sat Karmajanyam Sukha Dukkadi Bhogayatanam Shariram Asti Jayate Vardate Vipariyate Apakshiyate Vinashyati Idi Shadvikar Etso Shariram. That is what is kin. This is called yes, Shariram, Sthula Shariram, he says. We'll read it together. Panchikruta Mahabhutai. We'll read the question also. Sthula Shariram Kim Panchikruta Mahabhutai Krutam Satkarma Janyam Sukha Dukkha Bhogayatanam Asti Jayate Vardate Viparinimate Apakshiyate Vinashyati Shadvikaraihi Yuktam Yat Sthula Shariram. Sthula Shariram, here he is trying to make us understand. If you see, there is a method which is explained. He is trying to make us understand. The question is, what is Sthula Shariram? The question was, what is Sthula Shariram? He is trying to make us understand the four things that are connected with this. Number one, what is its condition? What is the condition of the Sthula Shariram? Number two, what are the causes of this Sthula Shariram? Next, third, what are the functions of the Sthula Shariram or the body? And what is the nature of the body? You are understanding how many? Four of them. Number one, what is its condition? What is the cause and how is it produced? What are the functions of this body and what is the nature of the body? So he is now slowly making us understand, number one, step by step. First he says, Panchikruta Mahabhutaihi Krutam. This body, the gross body, is made out of the five basic elements. These Panchabhutas, all of us are aware. The whole five Panchabhutas are Bhumihi, Apaha, Analaha, Vayuhu and Kam. Means the earth, the water, the fire, air and space in the order of subtlety. Subtlety in Vedanta, subtler means more pervasive, that is all. Now here it says, this body, Sthula Shariram, it is made out of the five basic elements. In fact, the whole world is made out of the five basic elements. Because you will see the whole world, if you look at the whole world, it's called Brahmanda and the Pindanda is same. Whole universe, if you look at, it is made out of the earth part and it has the water, it has the fire element and the air and the space. Look at this body also. This body also is made out of the earth part, earthen portion. And certainly there is no denying fact, we have got lot of water, quite lot of water inside. And there is fire in us. That is why, if you are doubtful, feel a fire. Fire element, that is why we have got this temperature. And then Vayu, air going in, coming out, not only outside, inside, it is everywhere inside also. And we have occupied some space. Some of us are occupying bigger space, some of us small, depending on the structure of the body, space we are occupying. Now, when we die, what will happen? When you die, This body, earth part goes to the earth portion, and the water out, and the fire is gone. That's why you become cold. And then no more air inside. Air merges into the air. Agni merges into the Agni there, and the space that we had occupied merges into the total space. But there is one technical word that I would want you to observe. It is called Panchikruta Mahabhutai. Actually, it is very exciting. This full description will be given later. But we will understand right now as the grassification of the 5 basic elements. Basic elements are there. Briefly, details of Panchikarana we will see. But what it says is, suppose you have got the earth or Bhuta, that Bhuta earth has got the portions of the other 4 also. But major is this. And similarly, water. The major portion of the water plus portions of earth, fire, air and space. And similarly, all the Panchabhutas have got the other constituents, but here there is a process called grassification. It is called Panchikruta. This body is constituted of the grassified elements. That's what Panchikruta Mahabhutaihi Krutam. And then what happened? It is a Sat Karma Janyam. I think we can't dispute that. We have got this body. There are various other bodies. Right now we have got this body because there are 84 lakh species. And why did we get this body? Out of Satkarma only. This body is, you don't need to doubt, because the 4 basis of the Hinduism is on the rebirth and reincarnation. The kind of the body that I get, number 1, we must agree that the human body is the best. Why? Because you are able to sit here, listen, talk, all these things. The other animals, they do only 4: eat, mate, sleep and defend. But we have got something different. To get into this body, as a human body is special. We have got this human body, and here again we have gone through the number of births and deaths. The kind of the body that we have got is that because of our sat karmas that we have done in it, so we must pat our back. I have done some good karmas. That is why I have got, even among the human bodies, we are now improved body. So this is called Sat Karma Janyam. So let us at least thank the Lord. But Lord, let me tell you, He is impartial. He doesn't say, I like you, give this body. No. He says, I have given you freedom to whatever. Whatever Pujya Gurudev Swami Chinmayanti says, you get what you deserve, not what you desire. So all of us have got this body because we deserve this body. So we have a right to pat ourselves, and we may get a better body. And who will help that? It is not the father, the mother. No. I, depending on the what kind of the karmas I do, I get a different, better or inferior body also among them. It is in the rarest of the rare cases, they say you may go to the lower yonis also. It is a rare case. That is one blessing. Now, this is called one more, this is called the, one cause was given, now we have given what was this, and then next, what are the functions of this body? This, what does he say? Sukha, Dukkha, Bhoga, Ayatanam. What is this Ayatanam? It is a counter, that is all. Let us not understand, this is where the detailed, slow inner meaning is there. What really enjoys in the body is something different. We will come to that little later. But right now let us understand that Sukha, Dukkha, Adi, Bhoga, Ayatanam is the function of this body. Means what? This is a counter through which we get what? Sukha, the joy, or dukkha. I get joy or sorrow depending on this body, but it is through the body and not this body doesn't experience the joy and sorrow. That is why he uses the word sukha, dukkha, adi, etc. Bhoga, ayatanam. We must stress and see that word ayatanam. Ayatanam here it means it is the counter. In fact, these you will see, I am now speaking through the mouth. The mouth is not speaking. You are seeing me. Do you think your eyes, the two eyes will see? No. If the eyes only can see, some people who suspect their husband and wife, they would have kept one eye there and come back. One eye is anyway. Eyes cannot. You can't be like, everywhere you have got the close security, what do you call that? CCTV. So, this is a hole. Here, these are the holes through which I get experience, and now it is continuously helping us to get input, except this, you have got the openings, but you don't get sukha and dukkha when you are in sleep. When you are in sleep, you know you have the same body, you can't see. The most favorite music, you can't hear. Even your favorite film hero or heroine hugs you. No experience. It is because the body alone, the point of stress, body alone cannot experience. As I said, it is a counter through which I get the experience. And sometimes this experience temporarily stops when you are in sleep, and permanently when you die. Same body. You see, it is nice to analyze. When you are sleeping, temporarily the world is dead to you. But the moment you wake up, the same useless wife, useless husband, same children, same... But when you die, this world is gone. So this is sukha, dukkha, adi, bhogaitanam. Next, what did I say? We must understand the nature of the body. What is the nature of the body? Asti. Asti means it is existence. Then jayate, it is varan. And then vardate, grows. And viparimanate, what does it happen? It slowly matures. Apakshiyate, it starts decaying, and finally vinashyati, dies. Body dies. Only body. Don't say none of us are going to die. I don't die. I mean, not that I don't put a color. I don't die. Death is to the body. Now we say asti. This experience of this body, when the child is consumed in the mother's womb, at that moment the mother, what she experiences, that there is a body in the mother's womb. So asti starts there, inside the mother's womb, and then jayate, that we know. When we come out to make this world suffer more, or to bless this world, we can forget anything. Some of us, when we come, either we are the sons of Dithi or Aditi. And these Aditis and these Daityas and Rakshasas don't say, of course in TVs and serials, in films, they show eyes like this like that, and you don't need to have. Both Rakshasas and Devas are be like this only. Only for us to make understand, they show like that. Now this is born. This body is born. There is another, what is that? The nature of the body. And then vardate. It grows. For some time in the vertical direction. Afterwards, after 1820, it grows, but in direction will change. Was sometimes like this and then like this. Vardate. And it body also viparinimate means it is going to mature. That happens with time. And then apakshiyate, I think most of us have already experienced what it has deteriorated. In some people to some extent, in some people to a larger extent. This is a symbol. Some people lose hair, teeth are gone, and the body becomes weak, and we get infected by, I can't sit, I can't stand, blah, blah, blah. So these are the various indications of the, what is that? Apakshiyate, the decaying, and whether you like or not, finally, this body goes back to the 5 Panchabhutas from which it has come. That is called the death. It is called Vinashyati. Fortunately, there is death to the body. Suppose, for some temporarily visualize, no death. What would have happened to this world? We have to be tolerating these Rakshasas. Fortunately, these Rakshasas that we are seeing around will one day die. But suppose that death is not there, by money and power you can get extension. Fortunately, there is no corruption. You don't need army party to come there. Just go. It is a God's will. Whole nature is so beautiful. These are the vikara. These are the nature of the body. And then Asti jayate apavinashi iti shadvikaraihi yuktam. This is called sthula shariram. So when you read it, you will understand. Panchikruta mahabhutaihi kritam satkarma janyam. Word sukha dukkha bhoga ayatanam. Word understood. Asti jayate vardate vipariminate apakshiyate vinashyati iti shad bhava vikaraihi yuktam. This body is one which has got all the 6-fold modifications or vikaras. This is the nature of the body, and that is called the grass body. It is nothing but our own explanation of our own body. It will be very easy to understand because it is you and me. We will see the next one because it was said, what is the question? Original question is Sharira Trayam. Out of that we have covered Sthula Shariram. Now what is the next? Sukshma. So we will read that. Sukshma Shariram Kim Apanchikruta Panchamahabhutaihi Krutam Satkarma Janyam Sukha Dukkadi Bhoga Sadhanam Jnanendriyani Pancha Karmendriyani Pancha Pranadayah Pancha Manas Ekam Buddhischa Eka Evam Saptadashakalabihi Saha Tishtati Sukshma Shariram. We'll read it together. Apanchikruta Sukshma Shariram Kim. The question is, what is that subtle body? The answer is what? Apanchikruta Mahabhutaihi Krutam Satkarma Janyam Sukha Dukkadi Bhoga Sadhanam Pancha Jnanendriyani Pancha Karmendriyani Pancha Pranadayah Manasyaikam Buddhisyekam Evam Sapta Dasakalabihi Saha Yattishtadi Tat Sukshma Shariram. What is that? Tat Sukshma Shariram. That is Sukshma Shariram. What? Again, the same rules. It consists of, it is indicated by the same rules that was explained to the gross body, the condition, the cause, the function, the nature and the constituents of Vasankan. So you will see apanchikruta mahabhutaihi kritam. What does it mean? These are also made out of the 5 same basic elements, what we are calling as Sukshma Sharira. But I told you there is a process called grassification. That grassification has not happened. It is in the form of what in this field called it as Tanmatras. That we will see later. I am not skipping it. That will come. In fact, Acharya himself beautifully explains what is this Panchikaranam. Right now, for our present understanding, we will understand it as Apanchikruta Mahabhutaihi Kritam. Means what? These are made out of the 5 basic elements which are not grassified. Okay, and then this also, but one thing that we have to understand, this is called subtle. Apanchikruta is a subtle, whereas Panchikruta is grass. What is subtle? Subtle is something which neither me nor others can see. Now, whereas the grass body you are seeing, but this subtle body, because it is made out of the apanchikruta mahabhutam, you call it as a form that cannot be seen. For example, the mind, for example. Can we see the mind? Mind is there, but can I see anybody's mind? Neither, but again, of course, again, it is God's bone that you are not able to see others' mind. Suppose He gives you a bone that you can see others' mind. I always tell people, no marriage will last for 2 days. Next day, God, fortunately, you are not able to see what is happening in the other mode. That means this cannot be seen by these things. I can't see them. This is called subtle. This is the qualification of apanchikaranam, apanchikruta mahabhutai. And one important condition that I would like to say in this subtle body is, this has got, I would say, a huge lifespan than the grass body. Carefully. This grass body will go after 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 100, or it will go away. But this subtle body, what we are discussing now, called the Sukshma Sharira, it has got, compared to the grass body, it has got a much longer, like huge, can be thousands of years also. Now, all of us have got a settled body now, whether you like or not, it is there. It is in the form of like a SIM card. Like a SIM card, it is there. Now, you got the new body, but it got the other aspects from the previous birth. When you died, the body went away, but the software has come out like a SIM card and it has come into this hardware. Now we are going. Again you die. But that won't die. And they say it can be a number of janmas. That means the subtle body, the difference between the grass and the subtle body is number 1. Subtle body has got a much longer life. It doesn't close even when you die. And then there is one more qualification. Apanchikruta mahabhutai kritam sat karma janyam. Sat karma janyam, very easy. Especially we bring from the previous birth all that we have done. You left I do not know whether you are you are the president of the United States or the Prime Minister of India, something was there. And you might have amassed lots and lots of money, lots and property. But everything you left, they are not transferred that to you. You may be a multimillionaire, you may become a Lakshadipati, might become a Bhikshadipati. But what continues according to this is, see, this is Satkarma Janyam. The kind of the subtle body has come is because of the Sat karmas that I have done, that continues here. And then Sukha Dukkha Adi Bhoga Sadhanam. You see the difference there. There it was said Sukha Dukkha Bhogadi. I hope you are reading it. Where? Grass body. Aitanam. But here he says Bhoga Sadhanam. And that, what does it mean? This Bhoga Sadhanam means, there it is only, I said, an opening. But here, this is the one, Bhoga Sadhanam, it is one which experiences. The experiencer in me is not the openings Navadvaras, but it is that subtle body which is inside. So the real Sukha, Dukkha, Adi, Bhoga, Sadhanam, not the, whereas the grass body is Bhoga, Ayatanam, here it is Bhoga, Sadhanam, means what? This is one which gives us all experiences of not only the things like heat and cold, but also joy and sorrow connected with the mind and all that. Because body is okay, Sukha and Dukkha, the heat and cold. But what about the pain, pleasure? It is only for the subtle body. Or in other words, this which he is responsible for me to experience, that Sukha and Dukkha, Sukha, Dukkha, Bhoga, Ayatanam. And then that because of which the body functions. Right now, suppose I hold a book carefully. The book, my hand is an instrument, but the real thing which is holding the book is my subtle body using the grass body. It's a very, very delicate one. And then what it says, Sukha Dukkha Bhoganam. Then next what is it? What are its constituents? Constituents are what? Jnanendriyani Panchaha. Means what? 5 organs of perception. And then Karma Indriyani Panchaha. 5 organs of action. Pranadaya Pancha pranas, the 5 pranas. Manas, mind, buddhi, intellect. How much now? We'll count it now. We don't need a calculator now. Pancha Jnanendriyani, Pancha Karmendriyani, Pancha Jnanendriyani 10, Pancha Pranaha 15, and then Manas 16, and then Buddhi 1, total 17. That's what is Evam Sapta Dashaka Labhi Saha Nishtati. That means these are the 18 things. Actually, you might say, this normally people mistake this to be the subtle part. The eyes are not the experiencer. The one that gives senses is that which makes me see, that subtlety inside me which makes me hear. He says Pancha Jnanendriyam. Pancha Jnanendriyam, we have got the external openings. I am using the word carefully. Eyes, ears, nose, tongue and skin, they are the openings. But that inside me, that subtle aspect in me, which gives me the capacity to experience or get the jnana through the external indriyas, is the Pancha Jnanendriyas. So it is a subtle aspect. So some people confuse it. And the next one is what? Pancha Karma Indriyani. Vak, Pada, Pani, Payu, Pastani, we say, no? We speak. I got hands, legs, excretory and the reproductive organs. They are the 5 organs of action, and these are that through which helps me react to the world. Through Gyanendriyas, input and then output, input, output. And then Pancha Pranaha, we are aware of the five, we will only tell the name because we will go into the details later. We have got what is called as Prana, Apana, Vyana, Samana, Udana. Prana, the perceptive or physiological functions. Apana, that which helps me to push things out of the body, the Apana. Vyana, that helps to distribute the entire energy from the foot to the head. And Samana is the digestive physiological function, and Udana, that process which helps me to think. These are the five pranas. That is why we say when the prana is gone, in spite of the gross body being there, I can't get any input. Jnana is not there. Excretion, including speaking, stops. Excretion, and most certainly the circulation or the distribution of energy will stop, and when I die, the digestion won't work. So, prana, apana, vyana, samana, udana, they are called the five pancha pranas. These are the subtle functions, physiological functions. Manaha, mind. Mana is one and buddhi is the other. There are the various other definitions which are given for the manas and buddhi. Manas, it is said, sankalpa vikalpakat manaha, nishchayatmaka buddhi. There is one. Okay? That means a doubting factor in me. Should I come to the next class or not? Should I come? I should not come. This factor is called manaha. Then you say, no, I will come. That nishchaya is the buddhi. And then the other, there are a number of, in fact, both mind and manas and buddhi are the same, but they are different from regards of functioning. When mind is a seat of emotions and is a discrimination faculty. So these manas and buddhi, these constitute my sukshma sharira. This is our. So the question that was asked was, Sukshma Shariram Kim, he has explained to us in detail of all of them. So next we will go to, in this Sukshma Shariram, he had mentioned about the Pancha Jnanendriyas. So we will see the organs of perception. Pancha Jnanendriyani Kani, Yanika. Shrotrum tvak chakshu rasana ghranamiti pancha jnanendriyani. Then shrotrasya digvishdevata tvachor vayuh chakshushaha suryaha rasanaya varunaha घ्राणस्य अश्विनौ इति ज्ञानेन्द्रिय देवताः श्रोत्रस्य विषयः शब्दग्रहणम् त्वचो विषयः स्पर्शग्रहणम् चक्षुषोः विषय रूपग्रहणम् रसनाय विषय रसग्रहणम् घ्राणस्य विषयो गंधग्रहणम्. We will read it together. पंच ज्ञानेन्द्रियाणि कानि श्रोत्रं त्वक् चक्षु रसना घ्राणमिति पंच ज्ञानेन्द्रियाणि श्रोत्रस्य दिग्देवता त्वचोर्वायुः चक्षुषः सूर्यः रसनाय वरुणः घ्राणस्य अश्विनौ इति ज्ञानेन्द्रिय देवताः श्रोत्रस्य विषयः शब्दग्रहणं त्वचो विषयः स्पर्शग्रहणं चक्षुषो विषयः रूपग्रहणं रसनाय विषय रसग्रहणं घ्राणस्य विषयो गन्धग्रहणं. So we'll be here. The question asked is, what are the pancha jnanendriyani? And for that simple question, elaborate answer is given. If you see closely, it will indicate what are these indriyas that is mentioned in the answer. And then other aspect that you see that is mentioned is what are the devatas which are presiding for each one of the sense. And next, what are the vishayaha, means the objects. Three things are given: indriya, the devata, the vishaya. Devatas means don't go anywhere, find out devata is where. It is here. So devatas are here. Each one of these things have a devata. Here there is no confusion. Who should do what? The boss also is indicated. You are working under so and so. This is your job. This is what you have to do. Extremely clear. The five, what are that? Strotram, Chakshuhu, Rasana, Gramamiti, Pancha, Jnanendriyani. It is very, very simple. What does it say? We have got the five. What are the five senses? We are all aware. Number one, we have the ear, and then we have all the eyes, smell, nose, to smell. We have got the five: eyes, ears, nose, tongue, and skin. We have the five elements. This is done. Now, this we are aware. But what is important is he has indicated what are the various devatas that are presiding over. The five organs of perception, we are clear. We have the ears, skin, eyes, tongue, and nose. There is no doubt because all of us have. Now the presiding deities, each one has got what is called as a devata. We must understand, before we really understand what is this, we will understand each one of them, they have got what is called as a limited function, and one which has got a huge overall macro function. The devatas that are indicated, they have got a huge power, whereas the senses have got, the sense organs have got a limited power. What does it say? Number one, the first one that was said was Shrotrasya Dig Devataha. The presiding deity of the organs of perception are space of the ear. Space. It is because of which I have. But space, ear has got a limited power. If you see, some of us have got different hearing abilities. There are various methods of testing. I think lower, most of us can hear somewhere to an extent of about 50, 60 decibels. Lower or 30, 40. And higher, maybe about 15,000, 16,000. But some of you might be able to listen 20,000 hertz. But lower, 30 to 20 is little tough. And that goes on changing a little bit. But there is sound below what we can hear and ultra and infra, higher than 20. But there are instruments which play. But they say, now you are hearing 16,000 hertz. I hear 18. Then he says 20. I am not hearing. But it is there. But here, this we have to understand, the limited powers are there for the senses, whereas the devata which is presiding has huge, unimaginable power. Shrotrasya devata is that. And then Chakshushu Suryaha. I think it is right, no? Sun of the eyes. Now space of the ear of the skin. Second one was ear of the skin. Tvachaha Vayuho. We are able to feel because of the air. And the devata, that is called the deity. The area of the skin, the devata of the skin is the air. Air has got more pervasiveness than the limited. And then we have got what is called the, next is sun is the presiding deity of the eyes. I may have the eyes, but without my bars, the sun means the light, the object is there and there I can't see. So rightly the sun is called the Devata of the eyes, and then we have got what? Water of the tongue. Now the experience of the taste that you get minus that water element you will not be able to taste. So he says the presiding deity of the tongue is the water, that is called the Devata of the eye, and nose gets this, the Devatas that are indicated for the nose is, he said, Ashvinau. Ashvinau Devata are known to be the presiding deities of the nose. These are the, number one, 5 organs of perception were indicated. Next we have got the 5 presiding deities for all this. Now he explains what are the fields of experiences. Now our ear can cognize the sound. There also it is very clear. Each a sense organ there. You see, look at the Lord's creation. Clear. You can't say, now I will hear through the eyes. Let my eyes hear. Let my nose see. No, clear. There is demarcation. For millions and millions of years, these bosses have not changed, the functions have not changed. Maybe there is a variation from person to person, but anybody what hears through ear only, human beings. So the field of experience, the cognition of the ear gets the sound, and how do we feel that touch? Only by the skin. So the cognition of the skin, of the touch is for the skin. That's why he says Shrotrasya Vishaya Shabda Grahanam, Tato Vishaya Sparsha Grahanam, Chakshusho Vishaya Rupa Grahanam, and I am able to see, the eyes see, and the cognition of the form is for the eyes only, and cognition for the taste is tongue, and cognition for the smell is nose. Now what we have not heard something that we do not know. All of us are aware. Let us be, you see, when you start really wondering, you must start wondering what is the Lord's creation here. You see, this grass itself, we don't need to go anywhere into Himalayas or anywhere to really sit for contemplation and go there. Just look at our own body. The grasses of it. When you go subtler, it is more tough and tougher. But here, when you look at the grass itself, it is, if you can't avoid appreciating the intelligence. There has been no duplication, there is no confusion. Each has you have this role. So the organs of perception, Sthula Shariram, what did we learn here? Number one, we have understood what are the presiding deities of each one of them. Of course, the other two we had known, because we had known the functioning. We had also known what is the Vishaya. Though the 3 things that we have said was, number one, Indriya, we listed out. Then we understood what are the various presiding deities is called the Devata of each one of the sense organs. We also reminded ourselves, because I don't say we learned, we reminded ourselves of the various objects of our sense organs. Now, this is only Sthula Shariram. And what is the one first definition of Atma? That which is, all this is Atma or Anatma? Anatma. That is, we should not lose track of what are we discussing. Because he said Nitya and Mithya. When we discuss Nitya, what is dependent existence is Anityam. and Nityam is independent existence. And this body, a list of Ekadasha was given. What are the five? Pancha Jnanendriyas, Pancha Karmendriyas, Pancha Pranaha, Manaha, Buddhi. And these 17 are, all these are anatmas. Now we have taken for our understanding only the Pancha Jnanendriyas. And if you look at this whole assembly, this is, we have to understand, is anatmam. It is not satyam. This is nityam, because it is a dependent existence, not the animal existence. So maybe next, what is the next question? We have to understand what? Organs of action. Even we have only seen the Pancha Jnanendriyas only. And if you start seeing the organs of action and their vishayas, their functioning, we can't start, we really become amazed about the Lord's creation. And then you will see all this is not self. That is what. So for the next few days, we will be seeing all these Pancha Jnanendriyas is not me, because Shariratrayam is not me. Avastatraya Sakshihi, Panchakosha Atitaha. This is which is beyond the three bodies, which is beyond the five kochas, one which is the witness to the three states of consciousness. That is that. And now we have seen only Pancha Jnanendriyani. We will see the rest slowly. It's a great text for seeing. We will see you tomorrow. Next class, not tomorrow, next class. Maybe another 1.5 months later. Thank you very much. Any questions? We have 3 minutes. We have.
How will you relate the Karmendriyas to Sukshma Sharira?
Is that?
How will you relate Karmendriyas to Sukshma Sharira?
Actually, it is not Karmendriya. Yeah, that's what I said. In the real text, that is why people normally get confused. There is a reason this gives a lot of clarity, that Karmendriyas are called, both not only Karmendriyas, Jnanendriyas are called Sukshma Sharira, because it is that aspect which gives power. These are nothing but the openings only. These are the opening. It is something like I see through the window. The window is not seeing. Similarly, this is only an inner opening, that's all. That is why it says it is a support. We saw that the Acharya says, calls it as Bhoga Ayatana. There is one which supports, which is needed, but which does not. But that power which gives for the eyes to see, which is really the Jnanam, is called the Jnanendriyas. That's how they have. It is called Bhoga Ayatana. Actually, I also had I had terrific confusion till I went through this, and I think he got a very, very right, very sensible question, because everybody gets, normally people think Jnanendriyas and Karmendriyas are grass and Manas Buddhi only, and this is the clarity. That's why this clarity has come. I think he has raised a question. For many years after studying a lot of textbooks, I still had that doubt that how can these Jnanendriyas be subtle? And this is what is beautifully explained by the Acharya. Because it is only the opening is grass, because it gives that power. It is called both, not only Jnana. We will see in the next, Karmendriyas also. Vak, Pada, Pani, Payu, Upasthani, it is said, no? Vak, Pani, Pada, Payu, Upasthani, the hands, the legs, speech, output, excretory and reproductive organs, they are also included in the subtle body, because it is called the Sukshma Sharira. Actually, really speaking, this looks grass, but there what he means is that which is making that function is called Karmendriyas. In fact, it is very good that you have raised the question. I hope whatever doubts the others will have will get clear. I had this doubt for many years, and I was struggling. What is this is being told? So there is a reason. This Tattva, it is good that you go through again. In fact, he says, you mug it up. mug it up, like olden days poems. This whole Tattvavada is worth thinking up, and then start thinking, what does it mean? We must start thinking. See, that question can come only to a person who thinks. So it is good that we are getting the question. I hope we have clarified. Okay, thank you, sir. Hari Om. Narayana. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah Sarve Santu Niramayah Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschid Dukkha Bhag Bhavet. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om.